Smack. Welcome to Super Smack.
Welcome to Super Smack.
The Super Rugby podcast from the fans, for the
You
fans.
sounded like an alligator sort of dying.
Yeah, it's from one of those horror movies.
Actually, there was a famous horror movie with a crocodile called Lake Placid. Do you remember
I
that?
do, yeah.
Mate, those films for a while were just the staple of Hollywood.
Yeah.
You know,
It did
like
well.
Lake Placid, Anaconda with John Voight.
How
and,
good was that?
You know,
Anaconda really got me going.
incredible.
That big snake.
Yeah, they often get you going, don't they? The big snakes.
It was more, what I really liked was that in the 90s especially, there was just some good lead character driven epics.
Yeah, what there was in the 90s was like big budget dramas. So they were
like a Forrest
amazing
Gump, like a
scripts,
Titanic.
amazing scripts, amazing actors, and studio money. And now it's studio money, B-grade actors. Well, no,
Man, I didn't
offense to
realize
some
we were
people.
doing a film podcast.
We are. No, you're right. We're getting way off topic. That was the end of round 10 of Super Rugby
a
2025.
big old Easter weekend.
A big old special Easter weekend where Jesus died, some rugby was played, and then because of that, he went, well, I'm not done. I'm coming back.
If Jesus could play a position, what do you reckon he'd play?
Oh, I guess he's first five because he's kind of directing everyone around. He's going, come with me, follow me.
I think he's too chill.
Mate, he was pretty insistent.
He was insistent, but I think he's calling the shots from the back. I reckon he's fullback. He's definitely in the back line.
He's fullback, Jesus at fullback.
Yeah, Jesus at fullback. He's overseeing everything. He's making sure everyone's doing the right jobs in the right positions.
Do you reckon they whipped the number into his back?
15 whips.
15 whips with a cat o' nine tails.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Jesus could be a fullback. He's definitely a playmaker.
Yeah.
Jesus certainly wasn't coming in and just going, oh, give me the ball whenever it suits. He was going, we're going over there and we're going to turn water into wine. And over there, at the end of the game, pass it to me and I'll walk on water.
So what you're talking about is versatility there.
Versatility, I mean, the guy was a magician.
So he's
really,
not
wasn't
playing prop. He's not like the art
Certainly
of it.
not.
He's not doing one job really, really well.
Certainly
He's not
not.
just the king of the breakdown. He's not locking. He's not a good jumper.
And-
He's more like overseeing a lot of stuff.
Correct. And I think if he was one of the playmakers, like if he was 10, then I think Judas would be 15, you know? I think Judas would be sort of throwing him under the bus, maybe not being in position
Man,
when
I
he should have
reckon
been.
Judas would be a good halfback. He can really fuck with stuff, you know?
Yeah, true.
He can do some stuff to the forwards, but he can also do some stuff to the backs.
He's in the middle just playing everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the Garden of Gethsemane.
Yeah. I reckon, Judas would be a good 9.
Good on you.
All right, should we get into some news?
Well, yeah, what's first off from round 10? News.
Auckland, some bombshells rained down, not just the thunderstorms,
It was a thunderstorm, all right.
but some big news in the Auckland Blues camp. Mark Talia basically really ending his hopes of being an All Black.
Oh, he's gone.
Outside of this
Maybe
year.
that's why lightning struck the Sky Tower on the
maybe.
weekend.
And also Rico Ioane. He's off on a sabbatical to Leicester.
So basically, the Blues lost their whole team.
Well, they lost their 2 best wingers.
They lost their 2 best wingers and their most average centre.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Great. Congratulations to them both. I'm sure Mark Talia is going to be paid a fortune. I don't know if Leinster would pay Rico a fortune. They must, right?
I think, probably. I would say so.
But
it frees up a bit of salary for some exciting new talent to come through the Blues.
It certainly does.
But I just wanted to talk to you about the difference between those two things.
Between what two things?
So going on a sabbatical and taking a contract.
Yes, Talia taking the contract,
So Rico's
Ioane
obviously,
taking a sabbatical.
he's got a firm place in the team. He has for a while.
Yeah.
He's obviously having chats with
Very
positive
experienced player.
chats with Razor and maybe the wider All Blacks sort of management
And
team.
rightly so.
And they've let him go on a sabbatical. He's earned that right. I guess he's been in the team for a long time.
Yep.
Mark Talia though, do you think he's he's like last year you'd say he was a staple part of that team, right?
He
Maybe the
was.
last couple years.
He was, but also I think it was pretty clear, and we've talked about this a bit before as well, that his confidence, something wasn't quite right. Like he was very inconsistent. I personally wasn't loving his selection as a starting winger. I don't know what it was.
But
What do you think?
I think he's gone a little bit awry this season, especially for the Blues.
He definitely,
But
yeah, I'd say.
What I'm sort of getting to here
Yeah.
is that okay, so he's got this contract, right? And he's got to have a conversation.
Yeah.
So, like, how does that conversation go? He's got to like ring up the All Blacks. He's got to ring
he's
up
had to talk to
Scott.
them?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, sure. Like, I don't think he's gonna go if they're like, bro, we want you to be here.
Fair enough.
You're our starting winger.
So do you think he has to get Razor's permission or something?
I don't think it's so much that. I think it's more like, hey, bro, hey, Razor. I've been given. I really loved playing for the All Blacks the last couple of years. It's been really cool. Love what you've done with the team so far, and really excited to be part of the future.
Hang on, is he talking to him now?
Yeah. Okay,
or
let's just say, okay, he's got to send him a message, right? So he's got given this offer.
Yeah.
Hey, Razor.
Yeah.
How are you, bro? Hope you've had a great, got some great plans for the Easter weekend. Just wanted to chat to you about the what I am to you in the rugby environment for the All Blacks. I've really enjoyed my time here. I've got a elephant in the room is that I've got an offer. I just wanted to get some advice and maybe what you think I should do and where you see me as the winger for the All Blacks. Anyway, chat soon, mate. Have a great time. Yeah, really looking forward to hearing back from you. XX, Mark.
Scene.
You reckon he's left him on scene?
He leaves him on scene.
What?
I reckon he doesn't respond. I'm just thinking, well, no, he wouldn't do that. I think Razor would probably respond with a text. But like, what has he said? He said, "Yeah, you're right. We don't really want you around, mate."
What do you mean you're right? He hasn't said that.
Did he not say that?
No,
Sorry,
he's put himself out there as going, "Tell me what you want from me, otherwise I'm leaving."
I reckon he hasn't said anything. I reckon he's left him on scene.
And that's what Mark Zillier's gone,
and
fuck
he's made
you,
his decision.
I'm signing, I'm out.
Yeah, I reckon Scott Robertson was busy with lunch, and he saw his text come up and he went, "Oh, Mark's texting me." Oh, and then his wife goes, "Oh, hey, get off your phone." He's like, "I'm not always on my phone." It's like, "You're on your phone." "I'm not always on my phone, babe." And he's had to then put his phone down, and he just forgot to text him back. So Mark's gone, well, Japan it is.
Well, he's not. I mean, Razor's not doing that for Sevu Reece. If Sevu Reece is texting, he's going, "Babe, this is business."
Yeah, mate.
All right, I'm sorry. I know that it's Sunday morning, and I know that we have a brunch sit down with the family, but this is a very important text, and I need to get back to it now, babe.
Sevu's on a different level. We know now quite clearly that Sevu is, one winger, definitely, and then it's probably Caleb Clark on the other. Those guys, I would say, Razor is going to respond to the text of. I think Mark, maybe Mumba was just a little bit on the outside.
So you think he's left him on scene because he's not sure, so he's like, there's a few other players. I don't really need to answer this now.
He's going to answer it in a few. I reckon afterwards he goes, "Oh, mate, saw you. You're doing the Japan deal. Sorry, I didn't respond.
Yeah.
I was with the wife at Easter brunch.
Yeah, Easter brunch. Mum and Dad were there, and I just couldn't get away.
Couldn't get away. I'm so sorry, mate. All the best in Osaka.
Have you ever been left on scene, mate?
All the time. Well, not all the time.
Doesn't surprise me.
What do you mean? I've definitely been left on scene.
You've probably left people on scene.
I definitely left a few people on scene. And I got to say, I'm kind of like, I'm like Razor in that respect. I just get a little bit distracted. I'll be at work and someone will send me what looks like it's a text that's important enough to catch my attention. So I go to it and I read it, and then I'm like, and then I get completely distracted and I forget to text them back. So for them, it looks like I've seen it and just haven't replied, which is true. But the truth is,
it's not your job to get back to your friends.
Well,
Whereas
it is kind of a responsibility.
Razor's job. I think he's just done it tactically. I think he's gone.
He's left him on scene deliberately.
If you need to go, it's probably going to solve a couple of problems for me, because what I get to do is go for a bolter. I get to go for some new talent rather than getting Mark back into the team because he's been in that environment already.
Yeah.
He maybe is on the fringe. I think Caleb's ahead of him. I think Sevu Reece is definitely ahead of him.
Certainly opens the door for some exciting new prospects, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Rico? I mean, he's going to have a hell of a time
Mate,
in Ireland.
Rico going to Leinster is a hell of a thing.
That's a
I mean,
coup.
what is old mate Sexton thinking?
Sexton, I'm not worried about Sexton. I'm worried about the fans.
Are they going to roast him?
Absolutely.
They're gonna burn him alive, aren't they?
They were going after him after
Yeah.
that World Cup
Yeah.
exit when he sort of had a few words to Johnny on.
Well,
I don't even know what
then he
said,
came
but-
to Aviva and led a haka and beat them.
Yeah.
So, he's one up for sure on them. But I think that's great. Mate, this is an amazing PR and marketing move from Leinster, if anything else.
Do you
not
reckon
anything else.
the Leinster fans are going to get behind him, or do you think
I
they're going
think
to be
so.
like?
They got behind Geordie Barrett. And
Yeah,
I
but
know,
Geordie Barrett's different.
I know Geordie Barrett is in a league of his own in terms of rugby.
He
for
also
sure.
doesn't have as much fire behind him. He's a
He
bit
doesn't,
of a boring
but
cat.
these are quality All Blacks joining other quality All Blacks that are also in the Leinster side.
Yeah, true that.
And I think it's going to be a great thing. My question is, are they going to play him at centre or are they going to play him on the wing?
Maybe
We know what you'd
number
rather
7.
see.
Maybe they'll play him at Lucy.
Yeah, like Tavanawe.
Yeah, maybe maybe it's a tactic to injure him so he can't play for the All Blacks.
Well, now you're talking with theory.
So
there's a bigger thing.
They put him at prop. Just really fuck him up in the scrums.
Just something that's completely not in his wheelhouse. Hey, mate, we've just lost our front row. Could you?
I reckon, yeah.
Step
I
up.
reckon the first game, without any preparation, without any scrum training, they just hand him the 1 jersey, and he's like, "What is this? Is this missing a 1?"
And he goes, "Are we going to Golden Oldies?" And they go, "Nope."
Nah, bro.
Nah, mate.
And look at this contract. You signed it, fool.
And it clearly says prop. It clearly says prop. So they're going to fuck with him. Do you think
Maybe,
do you
maybe.
think their long game is actually playing mind games with the ABs, putting some serious investment to get them
Hey,
over, and then
I wouldn't put it
fucking with
past them. I think they've maybe opened the gateway with Geordie Barrett in there, and it's been a bit of a success. So that I mean,
Those
Rico
deceitful
doesn't
little Irish.
He doesn't strike me as an original idea guy. So he's
No,
basically he's jumped into the portal
He's
that
gone,
Geordie's
I want
opened.
that. I want
I
that
want
one.
that one.
I want that one.
Yeah, he's done
I
that.
want what Geordie did. Can't imagine
Exactly.
if Rico actually had that accent. Yeah, so after the game, me and the boys, we went.
He's probably going to get it.
He
He'll like the Irish accent. He'll adopt it.
He would be one of
He'll
those
come
guys
back.
that will come back with an Irish accent and go, we're all talking like this, And it's like, Rico, bro, what you've been there for like
6
3
months.
months. It's like, I know, but it's just really easy to pick up.
All right. Should we get into the games?
Oh, maybe we should talk about what we're actually here to talk about.
Well, first up was an
Apologies.
absolute cracker.
It was a classic encounter. Blues Crusaders.
A wee wet, windy affair.
For the second time this season, and the Blues were hurting from the last one, and it wasn't going to get easier in Christchurch.
And
we
they
knew that.
You know what they tried as a little Easter miracle? They thought they were on the cusp of a lovely little Good Friday miracle.
But really, Jesus died and left them with
yeah, and
not
so did
much
they.
else.
They died
They
too.
died too. And the Crusaders, of course, like we, never want to say, they just,
Nah,
again.
I'm sick of this rhetoric, mate.
Okay.
I'm sick of this attitude. What's happened this week is that we've seen
Yes.
the Crusaders are still fucking beatable because the Blues were there, man.
Yeah,
and,
and
if,
actually-
and if that shit team can do it, we can all
Anyone
do
can.
it.
If the Blues can almost beat the Crusaders,
Almost,
hang
then
on,
we can do it.
But what I think you're mistaking this for is what it really should be is if the Blues can almost beat the Crusaders, then anyone can almost beat the Crusaders. And that's probably what's going to happen,
Nah,
mate.
man. No, what I'm saying is that the Blues are a lesser team. Well, I mean, maybe not so much with the Hurricanes, but for the Chiefs, we've got them, man.
Well, you thrashed them earlier in the year. So
Who, the
didn't you?
Blues?
The Crusaders.
We didn't thrash them.
Wow.
We beat them well.
That's what
Wasn't
I
a
mean.
thrashing.
You beat them well.
Yeah. And we've got them
Oh,
again.
yeah.
We've got them again soon.
Well, and you'll meet them again in the playoffs, that's for sure. We know what's going to happen, mate. Like, let's just cut the bullshit and fast forward to the end of the competition.
What
We
do you
know
mean?
what's going to be going on.
Well, you don't want your chance to scramble your way back into the top 6?
Not interested. We've got
You're
next
not
year.
interested?
Got next year.
Nah, fuck off, man. Come on. Get behind your
I-
team. I talked to you about this last week.
I'm
Have
behind
a little
it.
passion.
Ah, mate.
Get down to your
I
mums.
just want to
Have some
see.
slice,
I just
mate.
want to see you crying on the floor, rolling around, not knowing whether it's a sort of indigestion or the hurt of losing 3 years in a row.
I'm not the one on this table that's been prescribed low sec.
It wasn't Losec, mate. It was the other one. What's it called? What's it called?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I only know Losec because that's what my dad used to take.
And you say it's because he eats too fast.
He doesn't chew.
And I can be guilty of eating too fast too.
I've seen it, man.
And you don't like it when I chomp.
Well, no, what I don't like is when someone swallows when they obviously haven't chewed. They're so greedy about the next bite that they haven't chewed
How
properly.
closely are you watching
Nah,
someone
mate, you
eat?
see
It's
it,
sort
they
of
go-
fetish level.
And it goes down like it touches all sides of the esophagus as it's going down because they haven't chewed it.
Ooh.
Let your molars do the work, mate.
Let my moles do the work.
Your molars.
Oh, my molars. Okay.
A couple of interesting things happened in this Crusaders Blues game.
Yeah.
And I think we've both had this written down actually because I saw some of your notes earlier.
Thanks, mate.
Havili?
Yeah. He's going to make the ABs, isn't he?
That assist to Jordan was great.
Yeah, he's certainly showing. We know that Razor's fond of him, and this
so
just,
it should be.
Yeah, and this just cements it. He has been playing very well this season, and I would say that he, second to Geordie Barrett, you've got to say that Geordie's got the 12 jersey, firmly in his grip. I think Havili is probably who he's going to chuck in as the the reserve for that position.
Yeah.
I think it actually leaves Quinn Tupaia in a slightly
Tavatavanawe.
in slightly awkward positions because you've got Leonard Brown, you want Geordie as say the two, and then you've probably got Havili, and then Billy Proctor, who's been in and around and who had a fantastic game coming off the bench on the weekend.
He had a game. Yep.
I don't know. I mean, I guess you could. I have a feeling like Tupaia misses out. Maybe not.
He might do, yeah, but he's definitely in the conversation, which is all he really
Actually,
wanted.
there's 5 centres, though, that they select, isn't there?
Usually, yeah. And
so maybe he gets that 5th position.
And I don't know. I personally, I wouldn't be worried about who's better at playing 12 and who's better at playing 13.
You just
for me,
really?
For me, they're a very similar position, and they're similar enough that you can, the subtleties are small enough that you can probably tweak someone into either of those positions.
Well, then it doesn't become about the jersey number, mate, though. It becomes about the role, the contrast in the two roles. You can't have two people the same, right? So I guess Geordie is the bigger run-up person,
No.
and then do you
It's
have
a combo.
Tupaia?
Yeah, you want a good combo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want a good combo. Anyway, Havili played well.
What did you have any combos in the weekend? Did you get off to Macca's?
I didn't actually.
You didn't?
Nah, I had some lovely wonton soup on the Saturday.
Oh, Oriental.
And some salt pepper prawn.
Lovely.
Mm.
I made a couple of raviolis in the weekend for the family.
A couple?
Yeah, a couple of kinds. I just wanted to do a 2-course
Did
ravioli.
you make the pasta yourself?
Yes, we did, yeah. Me and my
Jesus
sister.
Christ, that's amazing.
Yeah, we made a little pumpkin number.
You are quite a good chef,
and
though.
then a lovely
You take a lot of care.
Lovely wee mushroom. My sister had some mushrooms growing off the cow pats in her paddocks.
Yeah, you do take a lot of care in cooking. In fact, I sort of always think that maybe you cook in the same way that you'd make love.
With care?
Mm.
Yeah. And a good end result.
Oh.
Satutu.
Yes.
He had a little comeback.
Well, he had a great game, mate.
I just want to ask you.
He had a fantastic game.
Do you think his little behind the back flick pass, do you think that was better than Ruben Love's? From last week?
Well, my take
or was
on
it
it
a week before?
No,
I don't remember.
Ruben's was, and this isn't just because in the Hurricanes, Ruben's was fantastic. It was accurate, pinpoint, like he hit his man right on target. It had a less of a risk. Here's the thing with Hoskins' pass, right? That could have gone really badly.
There's a big difference here too, though. One was
What's
in
the
the
difference?
complete dry and basically the end of summer.
Mm-hmm.
This one is like in the slippery wet.
Well, to my point, even more risky.
Yeah.
I mean, that pass,
but it came off.
Had it not bounced that way, that could have been intercepted by any of those Crusaders players running on, and it could have been basically, we could have been talking about a very different thing right now.
I think you're giving Ruben Love a little bit too much credit.
Well, I'm not giving him too much credit.
I think, yeah, sure, it hit the mark, but so did Hoskins Satutu's one. And I think there's always a bit of risk with that flick pass.
Mate, you asked me to rate the passes, and I'm saying Ruben's one was more pinpoint, and Hoskins actually.
What I've done
amazing.
is, I've set you up to be the one-eyed Hurricanes fan that you are.
I thought, to be honest, Hoskins had a great game. In fact, we'll talk about him a little bit later on. He really shone through. And the sad thing is, he's still not going to get into the bloody black jersey,
Well,
and that's a bloody shame.
I don't know. He might do.
Nah.
He might get in and around.
I don't think so.
He's done something.
But
to Razor as well.
he was really good last night and instrumental in the Blues getting that close, like keeping those players in check.
And unfortunately, we're already at this point of the season, and it's kind of his first real standout game.
And that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And that's why. You can't wait this long.
Hey, mate, the Crusaders this year, they're lippy, man.
Oh, yeah. Cody Taylor.
They do, like, I just remember back in the day, and again, like, it's obviously a different era where you've got Razor down there, you've got Richie McCord, Dan Carter, Kieran Reid. They used to be very calm and very collected, and you know they'd pull off a win like they did against the Blues, and it'd be like, oh yeah, we got away with that one, nice work, shake hands. Man, they go nuts. It's like they won the World Cup.
Their passion, and they were playing "We Are the Champions" at the full-time whistle in
Were
the stadium.
they?
Yeah. As soon as that kick went over, it was like, "We are the champions." It's like, talk about manifesting victory. Those guys are coming for that title. They're coming for it.
Yeah.
They believe now. And look, they have made a comeback because last year was a write-off.
They're trying to get themselves up, though. This is the difference. Like, it's not like they don't believe that they are going to be there. They have to, like, G themselves up for it now. You know, it's kind of like, you know, when, I don't know,
No, they definitely gene themselves up, but, you know.
Like Cody Taylor, he does one thing right, and he's right in their faces.
But, mate, on the contrary, I think they know. And it's in their DNA to win, and everybody else has to sort of struggle and fight to win. And for some reason, when things are going their way, they just know how to do it. That's the annoying thing about the bloody Crusaders. But, yeah, Fletcher Newell was giving some Dane Coles-esque lip.
Absolutely.
It was good.
So Blues unfortunately got pipped at the post.
They did, and they haven't got an easy run now. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be tough.
I think they do have an easy run, don't
do they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Mate,
I'm just checking who they've got next week.
Nothing's easy for the Blues.
Blues, they've got the Reds and Subcorp.
Yeah, that's not an easy run.
It's not an easy go.
In fact, I said on our little Blues season ticket holders group that I think the Reds will pip them in Brisbane. I'm saying that now.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, next game, the Drua. They're back.
They're back.
Well, they're
and
back
only
at
at home.
Park.
They're back at Churchill Park, where they love to win.
Lautoka. That's their ground.
So that's different to Suva.
Yes, so Suva's the capital. Yeah.
Yeah.
So different ground. They've won 8 games in a row at Churchill Park.
So is Churchill Park it's their Eden Park, right?
Well, I guess
it's
so.
their version.
I mean,
of that. It's a bit of a fortress.
Emotionally and sort of figuratively, it is. I don't know whether it's their main ground. I don't know enough about the Fijian grounds, to be honest. I don't know whether it's their like main sort of home. Like if a Fijian team was playing against the I don't know, the Lions.
How do they do it?
Where they go.
Why do they win at home? Why do they win at home so much, the Fijians?
Well, I got a little theory.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just the vibe when you get off the plane. Have you been to Fiji?
Yeah. Once. I did go once.
That sort of vibe of that, you just sort of take your breath out,
Yeah.
And I don't know, you kind of want to reach for a bowl of kava.
You're saying that they're taking kava?
Well, maybe. I'm just saying that's the vibe that it sets.
Right, right.
It's that Sanganalanga. Have you ever heard of that?
I beg your pardon?
Sanganalanga.
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 Yeah, it means no worries.
Like Hakuna Matata.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. But in like a sort of real...
But in Fijian rather than...
In Fijian rather than Swahili, yeah.
Mm.
Obviously made famous by The Lion King.
Yeah, a great film.
But yeah, the Sanganalanga, I think it just rubs off. As soon as you land in Fiji, you just get overtaken by that. Maybe they blow some Sanganalanga
So you're
dust
saying
in
that
your face.
the other team fall into a relaxed spell.
Yeah, and this is the vibe. This is the world where the Fijians do their best.
So actually, if we would have
when they're relaxed and they're Sanganalanga, they take it easy. That's when they're attacking rugby just really.
So if we were to investigate this could actually potentially be some form of witchcraft that's being practiced.
Maybe,
here.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, because why not? If you can't,
it's not against the rules. Tell me in the rules where you can't use witchcraft.
Exactly. I bet you it's not the Super Rugby rules that you can use witchcraft. If anything, I'd know. You should know that witchcraft is used, and just wear like a face mask.
Absolutely.
You know, like one of those N90s
And just embrace
or
it
whatever.
because it's cool. Witchcraft is great.
Yeah.
I don't think we should be scared of it. I think
No.
we should be able to, it's like AI. Like you want to be able to use it as a tool rather than be scared
That's
of it.
right. We shouldn't be scared of it eventually sort of taking us all over and killing
Well,
everybody.
Maybe if we learn to use it and respect it, maybe we can actually utilize it and make our lives better with it as
Yeah.
a tool.
It would be great, though, if the witchcraft sort of did enable the Fijians to win outside of Fiji.
This is what I'm thinking.
Maybe the witchcraft doesn't travel so well.
I think maybe Fiji Airways, which is a key sponsor of the Drua,
Yes.
should maybe fly some of the fans,
Mm-hmm.
but also some of the people that know how to take the Sanganalanga away from Fiji and into different territories.
Yeah.
Just bring them with the team,
Can you bring
like
Sanganalanga
with
in
physios. Actually, we talked about
through
this last
customs?
week. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I
It's a
think so.
vibe, right?
It's a vibe.
So
yeah.
you're not. We're not
it's
actually.
It's not a tangible thing.
It's not like a box that you open and shit
Yeah,
comes
and
out.
in New Zealand, we're only worried about biosecurity. We're not worried about vibes.
No,
Any
in fact,
vibes can come in.
we're very big on bringing vibes here, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and fewer of those self-contained campers.
And like we said last week, just get rid of the attacking coaches and just bring the Sanganalanga.
Get rid of the defense. No, bring in 10 more defensive coaches.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get rid of the
okay.
attacking coaches and bring in some Sanganalanga.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
And the Tars really embarrassed themselves in Fiji.
Yeah, they did. I mean, they showed their true colours a little bit.
And they embarrassed the Chiefs.
Why? Because you lost to them.
Yeah, because they played so well against us, and then they turn around and do that.
Yeah, I mean, they're a great home team. In fact, you could say that the Waratahs are the Australian Drua in some ways.
What do you mean by that?
Well, they love to win at home, but they're
I
actually
see
got a
what you mean,
terrible
yeah. They've
record
got a home
away. I
record,
mean,
yeah.
especially this year. So, I mean, I think that the Drua, wow. Do you know what? They've actually got all but one. They've got all home games for the rest of the season.
Do you think they could make the top
I
six?
think they can make the top six, mate. I think based on what we've just talked about now with the Sanganalanga, I think that they have a chance of making it in, and that would be something special. Because on paper right now, you go, do they deserve to? But they've got a unique draw, and I think if they've, that would be incredible. They'll never get past that point. We know that for sure. They'll lose in the quarters.
They're
straight
only
away.
going to make sixth or
So I
maybe
guess
fifth.
what's the point? But
So they're not going to have a home playoff.
no.
But that's when they can just go all in and they can buy every ticket to that game. Get Fiji Airways to buy every ticket to that game. Fly the whole country in
Yeah.
and just create the home vibe.
How many flights is that? It's
I don't know.
eh?
A few planes.
A few. How many people even live in Fiji?
I have no idea, mate. I would
Okay.
say it'd be in the millions, though, wouldn't it? It's
I
a
don't
big,
know.
big.
Is it a big place?
Yeah, I
Not
think
the
so.
millions.
You
Not
don't
the
think?
millions? Can't be.
Hundreds of thousands.
So there's quite a few.
I'd say it'd be
plane loads.
bigger than Wellington.
So they need
Wellington's what, 500,000?
No, Wellington's only like 300,000
Really?
people. It's not even that. It's
Oh.
200 and something. It's tiny.
Are you sure?
Yep.
200 and something thousand.
I'll look it up right now.
Don't look it up, mate. It's boring.
All right, come on.
I think that's about all we've got to say about the Drua Waratahs. 28-14 to the Drua. So, I mean,
Oh, it's 440.
yeah, so I was right.
yeah, sorry.
And you live there. You're from there, and I was
It's been
right.
a while, mate.
Yeah, all right. Well done, Drua.
Well
Congratulations.
done, Drua. You deserve that, but do try and win on the road.
Moana played the Brumbies.
Oh, dearie me.
And wow. It's not often you see a bagel in Super Rugby.
No, and it was a real shame because they had a couple of chances that got, called off.
Well, this is what I was
including the
thinking.
bus.
I think they got denied a couple of early tries, and they were pretty good. And one was up to the defense of the Brumbies being pretty
Correct.
stellar.
Yep, which it is.
And the second one was Xavier clearly offside.
Oh, he was well offside.
he should have pulled
yeah.
back.
He did. He tried to, and he realised, and then he just committed again.
But then he just
But then
did
what
it.
do you do? Because maybe there's a situation where they let it go. You never know.
Yeah.
Some of the refs don't do that.
But after that, I feel like they sulked.
Yes, they sulked, which is what happens, when you're maybe not used to winning so much. You get a little sulky.
Yeah, they got a little bit sulky.
I
and
think-
they just decided not to. They didn't want to play anymore.
I'm
The
thinking-
game's dumb.
I'm thinking maybe Joss has a little bit of a come down.
You think they got steak knife Tuesday, but a couple of weeks later.
Yeah. Like if you've got ecstasy and most other drugs, it's usually the Tuesday following
Yeah.
you've taken it. This is 2 weeks later. Yeah. The Joss has a massive come down.
That's a 2-week come down.
Yeah, it's huge.
No wonder it's illegal in New Zealand.
Yeah, well, we still don't know that, but
I would say it's illegal here, not for the high, but for the come down.
Well, the come down's the worst bit. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, mate.
So so Moana, that's unfortunate. A big old come down.
It is.
But I mean, that first half, when you look at that game, that it was just all defense.
Oh, yeah.
And good from both teams.
Yeah, and a low score.
And then old Corey Toole, he scored a screamer after the buzzer, and he's still got the imprint of the branding on the on the fencing.
He went right into it.
He smashed,
and he was quite concerned about the patron behind the fence too, which was lovely to see. I mean, because he hit that at some pace. But there was a lot of moisture on the ground.
I couldn't quite see what the brand was because it was backwards on his head, but pretty clear.
Probably
right above his eyebrow
Fiji
there.
Airways.
Fiji Airways. What they make the
they wouldn't have been sponsoring the fences. Oh, you mean the brand of the fence?
Yeah,
probably
fences.
Fiji fences.
Fiji fences.
Sanganalanga fences.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. .com.
Yeah. I think the Moana teams, they're sort of star players that have put their hands up earlier on in the seasons, like the Tomoiflau and the Pellegrinis and the Miracle Failangis, and obviously Savia wasn't there. They didn't really do much in that game.
Yeah, I mean, if Savia's not there, does it all sort of?
Well, I don't know. I feel
fall
like
apart.
When they all play well together, it obviously works. You know?
Well, of course,
and that's the case with most teams. But
it is.
They just need to not all collapse at the same time.
It's the backing up, and they're not a team that's used to doing it. That's the thing. I mean, when they got on a 2-game winning streak, we're all just going, "Wow, this is kind of some kind of miracle." But I think where they are now, it's going to be hard for them to rally for the rest of the season. It is going to be tough.
Well, let's hope the Moana team bounce back.
I hope they really do.
But the Brumbies, they just scored, boring test tries.
Yeah, but mate, that's why they are the Crusaders of Australian rugby. That's why they're the best Australian rugby side in the history of the competition, because they know how to. I mean, they do know how to win.
Yeah,
and they showed it, and they will be there or thereabouts. Like we've said before, it'll be them ultimately, if any other Australian team. Which is it's good. I like that they're consistent. You know what you get with the Brumbies.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and you know what you get with the Crusaders.
And you know what you get with the Highlanders.
Unfortunately, you do.
And they came on up to FMG Stadium.
And they did what exactly we thought they would do.
They had a great first half.
And then they
got themselves in the game. They played probably the best half that they've played all year.
And then they had a 10-second penalty. They got to the travelator. They fucked out. And
well, the Chiefs just flicked the switch, really.
They did. But also, if you can't pile enough points on the Chiefs in the first half, it was gone burger, because your secret weapon is
the bench.
Is the bench, and you did it like you've done round and round before.
Yeah, we opened up the floodgates. I mean, it was lovely.
Yeah, and it was embarrassing.
And it wasn't even like, obviously we saw that DMAC had, after last week, he'd sort of been recalibrated. I think maybe he'd been taken into the shop. They'd put that little sort of the digital kind of machine, plugged it into him, and they'd seen where the errors were, and
well, I actually think that
done a hard reset on DMAC, and it took a couple of days, but he was back on board and in his stride.
I think maybe DMAC's innie was playing the last game.
Oh, you think so? Yeah, maybe they just had a little switch.
Now as Outie is back, was back on the field and sort of taking control of things.
Yeah, the ball was on a string.
Oh
again.
Yeah, he looked good, obviously, except for the time that he looked up and saw old mate coming at him.
Oh, Tavatavanawai. Yeah, but mate, he's human.
Yeah.
I'd
be shitting myself as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you saw him in the slow-mo replay. I was looking up, and he's probably got the skill set to be able to have a little glance and still catch the ball. But he had a little glance, and then his eyes just went,
oh, he's like, fuck!
It's like, he basically braced himself for impact.
Oh, he braced himself for impact. And thankfully, he knew that
and he got out of the way.
If I drop this, I won't have to be tackled.
Because Tavatavanawai was well within his rights to absolutely clean him up.
He would have.
But he didn't. DMAC got out of the way, which tells me that he actually pulled out.
Oh, yeah, he pulled out all right, like a good Catholic.
Yeah, exactly. Good on you, DMAC.
Good on you, mate. And, good game. Obviously, quite a few points. Did well in fantasy.
Absolutely.
Yep,
absolutely.
Yep. He made a comeback.
A couple of good people putting their hand up, and not the usual numbers, the Boshiers, the sort of unsung heroes.
I mean, he
of
had
the Chiefs
2, didn't
team.
he?
Yep.
3, 2, yeah.
And the Leroy Carters of the world.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah, you do love him.
Nadawa he was looking for some work.
Nadawa is always industrious. Actually, he was always good around the fringes. Maybe making a play for that other winger spot.
Well, now that Talia's gone, maybe that opens it up for him.
Maybe. I don't know.
But also nice to see Falau Fakatava back on the pitch.
He's
been
good.
away for a while.
Yeah, and he did play well. He reminded us of why he was a one-time AB, which was he's got spark. He's got a lot of spark. I don't know if he'll be in the conversation, but he's great. I mean, again, if you could have a whole lot of Fakatavas on the field for the Highlanders, they might actually win something.
And you know
That'd be
what?
Lovely.
I'm glad he's got rid of that fucking stupid haircut.
Yeah, he looks much better with the short hair. Looks lovely.
And you know what? It
Handsome,
just
in
made me
fact.
think. There's not many dumb haircuts out there this year.
I think they've done a season with them and they've gone.
Well, they've done a decade with
We
them,
all
mate.
look like fucking
They
idiots.
have done a decade with dumb haircuts.
And I think as they've gone on in their relationships, their girlfriends or their wives have gone, cut it out, mate. Like
reckon?
literally cut it off because I'm not spending another night with you with that monstrosity.
I can't think of what, because there was that awful, kind of undercut mullet thing that was going on for a while.
It's kind of still big, right? In
but
culture.
they've turned it's gone from basically I haven't cut the hair on my head except for the undercut for 3 years to I'm going in and getting it styled that way every other week, before every game.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely just, when in doubt, just go with a nice short back and sides. That's all you need. You're a rugby player, for fuck's sake.
Would you keep your hair like this if you were playing rugby?
Well, mate, this is the only hair I got. So, yeah, I'll keep it like this. The only other thing I'd do is maybe go for a shaved look, like a Hugh Renton kind of vibe.
That's not shaved, mate. It's
all
gone.
He just bald?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Hugh.
He got into a bit of a scrap.
Yeah, he did actually. He got there was a bit of niggle there. I think he did something that the players didn't like.
Who was reffing this game?
Was that Angus?
Was it
maybe?
Angus? Yeah, Angus maybe. I don't know who it was, but I'm sick of the refs sort of talking to the players like they're a teacher.
They did. There is a lot of condescension, and just to not mix that up with condensation.
The worst one for me is when someone's at the breakdown and they go 4, roll off, no 4,
and you're like,
go.
I'm fucking trying.
And then 4 rolls off and they go, good listening. I'm like, what?
Who said that?
It's happened so many times. I think it was Angus Gardner. I'm going to put his name out there. Good listening,
some of them probably are
it's like they're
ex-teachers.
primary school
they
teachers.
might be.
These guys aren't 5 years old.
Yeah, well, some of them might have the mental age.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, probably.
It's like Jack, that movie with Robin Williams.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Was that Robin Williams? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
wasn't
where he's
it?
sort of like an 11-year-old and sort of a
but in a
45-year-old man's body.
Exactly. Yeah. But also, I just don't like the way that they talk.
No,
to
it
the
is.
players.
I did actually notice that it gets quite patronising. You're like, mate, I know the rules. It happened with Alan Alatoa. He tried to have a chat with the ref, and he's just like, no, I'm done with you, Alan. I'm done with you.
No more talking. No more talking.
It's like, Jesus, go sit on the mat.
Yeah, that's
go sit on the mat. Take a toy and suck your thumb.
And Alatoa was like, this is not how adults have conversations.
Yeah, and also he's a veteran wallaby.
Yeah,
one of the greats of that country. And
you're a ref.
He's just being told to
learn
go
how
away.
to communicate
a little bit. The refs just they're just taking a little bit too
and
much
you know
license.
What? But some of them have graded it, And you look at the Paddy O'Briens,
and
the Nigel Owens
of
the world.
Our old mate Ben O'Keefe, I feel, is actually quite good.
He's good. He is really good because he's got a good rapport. He's got good respect.
He also just doesn't have that patronising tone, and there's no need to have it.
And you know what? I mean, I guess in their defence, rugby players can be dicks.
I mean, to be honest, mate, league players would be the bigger dicks. I would say that rugby players.
Yeah, but we're not here. It's not a podcast about league, mate.
Thank God.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be very long.
It'll be like, and the Warriors lost. Well, they won actually. So,
well, 46-10 to the Chiefs. I am not
well
wearing.
done, mate.
I'm not wearing the Highlanders jersey this week.
No.
Which is great.
Yeah, I forgot about that actually. But mate, that was never in doubt. So can you please just stop making stupid bets that you know you're not going to lose?
Well, no, I just made it because I wanted you to wear it when you lose to the Highlanders. Sorry.
We won't, mate. We'll beat them again too. No one's beating the Highlanders. Aren't winning for the rest of the season. You heard it here first.
Are you right there?
Just adjusting my mic.
Say that again.
I said the Highlanders won't win for the rest of the season. You heard it here first. News. Why do I
Sorry,
have
one
to-
more time. One more time.
Okay, let's just go. The Highlanders
Yep.
will not win for the rest of the season.
Great. Force Hurricanes had a lovely
And there's
weekend.
nothing even on the line. There's nothing even on the line. That's the thing. I'm just being a dick. It's just going to make me look like a... No, I stand by it.
No, I'm just going to replay that when you're wearing the Highlanders jersey when you lose to them in a couple of weeks' time. It's going to be hilarious.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, mate. We're playing them at home. It's fine.
Hey, mate, Duplessis Creepy's in. Did you see that?
No, he's not.
April Fools.
Yeah, fuck off. Mate, they need to clone him. 15 Karifis, or at least 7 of them.
Mate, it's not Jonah Loma Rugby.
It could be. Should be.
Hey, Ruben Love at 10. That surprised me. And then
Yep.
I messaged you about it, and you were like, "Oh, he's played there before. He's actually growing up playing there." You got all fucking like serious about it. Do you think that went well, or was it a failed experiment?
No, definitely wasn't a failed experiment. I thought he did well. I thought that was a messy game from both teams. There were a lot of mistakes, mate.
Yep.
It would look like they were playing in the pouring rain, the amount of time they were dropping the ball. It was terrible.
Yeah, true
so
that.
many ball handling errors. I thought Ruben Love was great, and he could have been the hero. Let's not forget that ball bounced off the left upright at the end there.
He could have been.
He could have been, but he wasn't, which is kind of the story of the Hurricanes.
What my
sometimes.
point is.
What's
is
your
that,
point, mate?
like,
Please make it.
Well, I mean, if he was playing at 15, he might not have needed that last kick.
What do you mean?
Well,
Like he would have
Harkin-
cemented it.
Harkin
Oh.
played at fullback, right? And
Yeah.
granted, he's a little bit of a newer player.
He's a
right?
newer player, and he's a good player.
And he had some
I
really
felt
shining
sorry
things,
for him.
but he let go of a sitter in a tight game that you need to score that.
Well, unfortunately, he had the double whammy, right?
Yep.
Which is not only did he not need to pass it,
Yep.
but also the pass he threw could have just been perfectly fine to Ruben Love, and he threw it behind him.
yeah,
Like he
should
actually
have just held on to it. If he had just held on
he
to
should
it,
have, but he also could have passed it to Ruben who was inside him? It was Ruben Love, wasn't it?
who was inside him?
Not that physically inside.
Oh, you mean on the field? Okay, sorry.
It was to Cam Roygard, I think. Sorry. He could have passed that perfectly normal. He just shanked it.
Yeah. Well, all I'm saying is that, like, I don't think I mean, maybe they are actually. I could be wrong. I'm going back on myself here. I was going to say that maybe the Hurricanes aren't in a position to be rolling the dice on things. They just need to do things right.
I think,
but maybe they are. Maybe
Mate,
they're in that desperate position where they just need to be. Maybe they will just chuck Duplessis at 10 and just see what happens. Because
to be honest, they're going to have to roll some dice. Although, mate, we're no longer the bottom New Zealand team.
No.
I mean, that is now held by.
I don't think it's the New
Highlanders.
Zealand teams you've got to be worried about, mate.
I think it is, mate. I think it always is.
But you're not
Except
even.
for the Highlanders.
No, I think you've got to worry about those Aussie teams.
Well, really? Well, we've got the Brumbies next week
Yeah,
in Canberra, and you
Yeah.
know that never goes well for us
mate.
ever.
I feel like
Yeah, I mean, I'm not looking forward to that one because our history would dictate that is a bit of a loss for the Hurricanes, and that sucks
You
because
think
we
so?
do. Yeah, well, it has been.
this is
in
the
recent
first time
times.
that you haven't backed your boys. You haven't like blindly backed
No,
them
I'm
into
just
the
being a
next
very
week.
neutral party to it and going. We know the threats of
Have
going
you
to
given
certain
up?
places. I haven't given up. I haven't. News.
Have you given up?
You can't just-
Has Gareth Williams
No,
given up on
I
the
haven't
Hurricanes
given up.
this
We
year?
s- no,
Have you
we
given
still-
up on the season?
No, we've got a bit of a nice run in. We can do some good things.
Do you think you're going to make the top six?
Mate, I'll tell you who I'm excited about and why we can make the top 6. Billy Proctor coming back was awesome.
Mate, he's had a game. Yeah, he had a
No,
game.
he was fantastic.
He was great. He was as good as anyone
No,
else that's playing in the centres these days.
Well, he's probably better, I would say.
I think he's had a good game.
No, he's going to be an All Black.
He already is an All Black.
It's going to be another one.
Okay. All I'm saying, mate, is don't get ahead of yourself and
And
don't rest all your hopes on
Riley
Billy
Higgins
Proctor.
is great too, and it was great to see him back.
You've also got Umaga Jensen and
Balin Sullivan.
Sullivan
Oh,
in
we're
centres.
doing
You don't
all right,
need
eh?
Billy
We
Proctor.
should be winning, shouldn't we? Hey, talk to me about Super Point.
Well,
What are your thoughts, mate?
okay.
What are your
This is
thoughts
the first
on
time this season we've had Super Point,
It is,
right?
thankfully.
And I love it. I love the fact that we not going for a draw. Like a draw is kind of boring. It doesn't really work for anyone.
No.
It's not exciting as a spectator, and I like the fact that they've got a little Super Point system, which is great.
It's
which
nice.
is it's the same as Golden Point.
They've
right?
got around a board
So
table and they've worked that out.
Used to have extra time, and you'd play for a few minutes each way, and if
And
that
then-
didn't work, then you go into Golden Point.
Yep.
First team to score wins.
Yep.
What I have a problem with is that you set it up where we don't want to draw, so we're going to go into Golden Point or Super Point or whatever it's called. But then the option of there being a draw at the end of that is still there.
Yeah.
Like how anticlimactic is it that you're going into Super Point? And, the main bugbear for me this week was that I was watching this game in bed on my phone with one hand up. It's not. It's
And
never,
the other hand?
And I've watched the whole, just lightly resting on my thigh. And I'm switching hands because it gets a little bit sore. And I watched 40 minutes of rugby. So I watched the whole second half in
Well,
bed.
good on you, mate. You probably could have changed position and put it on a little stand somewhere.
Well, I didn't have one. I don't have a case on my phone.
Stupid to me.
Well, no, it's just like I was just expecting it to be a normal sort of standard 40. I
Yeah.
was okay with that. Then we've gone into this extra super.
And you were like, oh,
and I was like,
fuck's sake, I got to
okay,
stay up.
No. And actually, this is good because we'll get a result.
Yeah.
Fucking 17-all at the end of Super Point.
You're right. It's not set up that there should be an incentive, as in like you play extra time, so that means that likely someone's going to score a point in that and win it. And if not, Golden Point, because the players will be so tired, it'll flush them out.
I disagree,
right?
mate. I think they're right. Go with Super Point, but just keep playing until someone fucking scores.
But mate, are you saying that they have no upper limit whatsoever? Like, what if they go for half an hour?
Sooner or later, someone's going to get so dog tired that they're just like, fuck this, and they give up. And then someone like Ruben Love just runs around and scores a try.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if sooner or later that's going to happen.
And then he passes it just at the last minute. Oh, for fuck's sake, Callum.
But
we were right there.
Sooner or later, they're gonna score.
Okay, so your pitch to Super Rugby is that we go unlimited time on Super Point, and it just keeps going.
I just think, like, what's the point in having a system that makes that is against the draw?
Maybe
when you can still have a draw as a result.
You're right. Let's try it out. Let's see if we can try it out.
What's the Super Point, Super Rugby?
What's the Super Point in this?
But yeah, you just keep going. I mean, I reckon you're giving them an extra couple of minutes, and they would have been fine.
Yeah.
17-all, not a great one.
Not
for
a
you,
great
mate.
one. And Harry Potter.
Oh yeah,
Harry Potter, mate.
He had a magical
Now
game
he had an absolute magical game, but I think he thinks he's back on set.
he had a run in with the camera, didn't he?
He's trying to find the camera and do his own stunts again. That
I think
guy.
he's like Corey Toole as well, where he's hit that camera so hard that he's got the branding from, or it'll probably be an Ari or maybe a red dragon or something.
Sconed.
Yeah, he got
by
absolutely
that big
fucked
old
up.
broadcast camera.
Yeah, he wasn't like Corey though. He wasn't apologizing. He was like, "Get the fuck out of my
well,
way."
actually, he was.
Do you know who I am? I'm Harry
Potter. I'm the head of
Gryffindor.
Gryffindor. Get the fuck out of my way. I'm late.
But he said it in parcel tongue.
And the camera operator just went, "Fuck."
Yeah, I don't know.
And someone just came along and stood on his head.
But he's making a play. He's
He's a very good player, and it would be interesting to see him in the Wallabies.
I think he's going to be in the Wallabies. Yeah, absolutely.
He's done some quality stuff this season, old Potter.
Even just for the publicity.
Potter.
Get him in there.
Yeah, get him in there, mate.
Were you being Ralph Fiennes or were you being?
I was being
Severus.
Severus Snape. Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman.
God rest his soul.
God rest his soul. Lovely man.
Potter.
Harry Potter.
Oh, sounds a bit weird when I do it, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was.
You should have won that, mate.
Well, we should have won it, and it was just scrappy. It was scrappy, and everyone was dropping the ball. It was very frustrating. I got very frustrated. I got sweaty.
Yeah.
You know,
understandably.
And I didn't have the heat pump on. I didn't have the aircon on.
It was humid in Auckland.
Yeah.
It was real humid. I mean, I wasn't even in Auckland, but I know it was because when I got back, I felt the sweat.
So you felt the humidity even though you were away?
I felt it when I got back. I knew that it had been a humid weekend.
It had been a very humid weekend, and if you haven't got that aircon on, it just makes watching the rugby very uncomfortable.
And everyone got a little bit upset with all the stormy news, you know, like they didn't get enough warnings about shit.
I know,
you know?
people get like really on that now.
Was
Although
that
I think
bad?
people in Auckland,
being up here, was
there
it that
was
bad?
some flooding. I drove through some pretty severe flooding.
Right.
Yeah, it was actually like it happened so quick that I was like, Jesus Christ, which the last time did as well. And if you've got a lot of people have trauma from that January 31st.
Yeah, I've got a bit of trauma.
I mean, I was in your house, mate.
I know.
I came home from
A
Bavaco
lovely wee
from a lovely wee
time out.
10-hour lock-in, and I came home to find that the roof had bloody
Yeah.
pissed, and that was a nightmare for you. So actually, you shouldn't be bloody throwing stones out of anybody.
No. I'm just saying, like, yeah, it was a bit sweaty.
Lovely. Well, we should do our awards.
Yeah.
Wanker of the week.
Always first.
You
Good.
love discipline. Mine was, I was going to go the rules of rugby because
The rules of rugby.
the rules of rugby because Joseph.
We love the rules of rugby.
No, we don't. Most people fucking hate them. Joseph Suoli'i in the 81st minute in Suva in Churchill Park.
That was a strange finish. You're
Um,
right.
He had no option but to sort of put the ball down, and by putting the ball down, he was in an offside position, and he got yellow carded, and they got a penalty try. But what's the guy supposed to do? Just leave the ball?
Well, I guess so.
I guess let them just get the try. I reckon you've always got to just try and put yourself in the way. Anyway, it's just one of those unusual.
I mean, yeah,
It's boring.
but
no
it was
one
a
cares.
that was a dumb little end to
It
that
was
game,
a dumb
wasn't it?
end. Yeah.
It was like a
didn't need to go
messy
on.
little annoying. Like let's
Yeah,
get
and
the
they were,
rule book out and figure it all out.
I know. You just call it off.
Well, my wanker of the week is James O'Connor. He thinks that he can waltz into this country and make a match-winning play in a great New Zealand derby between two formidable New Zealand teams and just walk away with that crown on his head. He is playing up.
He's playing up, mate, and he has to thank the Crusaders for making him as good as he is at this point.
And you know what? He's using us.
He's
no one else
using-
can see this.
he's
like,
using
I
New
thought he
Zealand
was
rugby.
coming in as a spy, but now that I look back in hindsight, he's used us to get his form up
And retake that 10
jersey.
jersey.
He's training his ass off on the
It's
during the week.
inspired.
And the team's getting behind him. He's actually got some support
Yeah.
rather than getting smacked down by his fellow fucking Australian prick rugby mates.
Yeah, I think he's certainly thrived at the Crusaders, but that's what the Crusaders are so good at, isn't it, mate? Everybody that goes there thrives,
The audacity, mate.
you know?
I'm sick of it.
Are you saying that you'd rather see him leave next season? Is that what you want? You don't
No,
want...
he can stay, but he just needs to know his place.
He needs to calm down and stop
He
taking
needs
last
to
minute.
calm down.
Would you rather see James O'Connor just not make any big moves? Just few kicks around the field
I'd
and
just
that's
like to
about
see
it?
him earn them. People forget that he was a nemesis of this country
Oh,
for a long, long time.
Well, he wasn't. I mean, he was never that.
He played for Australia. He was a nemesis.
Yeah, he was a nemesis. They all
And
were.
we are quick to forget. We've welcomed him in with
We've-
with
the
open
snake.
arms.
We've
and
let
he's
the
just-
snake crawl into the house,
and everyone's buying him Macca's and like fucking
and
or
we've-
KFC or
we've
whatever.
left the
Burger
door to
King.
the nursery ajar, and he's going to eat the baby overnight.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't eat any babies, but god damn it,
It would
he
be
is
weird if
really
he did.
feasting. He's
Would be-
feasting on our hospitality.
Yeah,
He really is.
yeah. No,
And
hope to
I just,
God he's
I
not
just
a
want
baby killer.
everyone to be aware of it because I'm worried about it.
Well, I think now we're all very aware of your feelings toward James O'Connor.
I like him as a guy, and I like
You've
him
never
as
met
a,
him, mate.
Nah, he's a good guy. I've seen some interviews and he's
Well,
done
and he
some-
did the Macca's thing.
yeah, and I like that. That
Yeah.
really it softened me up.
He
a
has
bit.
he has a soft, kind face, doesn't he?
He does, and like, obviously down in Christchurch they're fucking loving him.
Yeah, they love him.
But
Well, it's a breath of fresh air. Someone
just-
outside of town.
just calm your farm, mate.
Yeah, calm your thumb.
I don't
All right.
mean to tall poppy you, but
Yeah.
god damn it,
Yeah.
it's frustrating to see an Aussie just like doing Dan Carter things,
Oh, hey. He's nowhere near. Just ease up. He took a couple of last minute penalties. Like, let's just chill.
He did better than Bodie off the tee. Let's put it that way.
Well, anyone would do better than Bodie off the tee. I'd probably do better than Bodie off the tee.
I don't know about that, mate.
Player of the day.
Good on you, mate. My player of the day is lovely Leroy Carter.
You love old bad Leroy Carter, don't you?
Boomfa.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
good.
he did have a lovely game.
Yeah,
He's
he's
had a
breaking
great season.
tackles.
Yeah, he's a good runner.
He was looking for work. Like actually, both the wingers were looking for work against who do we play again? Oh yeah, the Highlanders. They were both looking for work. And he had an awesome finish off a great little chip
Aki,
Man, he
Oliver,
was
don't you?
good.
Yeah, he was good.
And I really like him. I think he's
Yeah.
he's like that. He's kind of like Corey Jane for me.
Yeah, he
A little
does have
bit
a Corey Jane.
unsuspecting. He's like that, just that sort of. You don't expect it from the sort of lanky white boy.
No,
on
that's right.
On the end of a
Thick
good
as
back
pig
line.
shit.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, no, I have no idea.
well, Corey Jane is. Mind you, he's coaching the Hurricanes, so he can't be that thick.
Well,
He presents as thick.
I don't know. I mean, oh, yeah.
I love Corey Jane.
Oh,
I
mate, he
think
was one of our greatest ever wingers.
He is the best fend, I think, in
Yeah,
rugby.
yeah. The straight arm, boof. It was great.
But yeah, Leroy Cardo,
Um,
I think he's destined for great things in his first season for the Chiefs, and he's proven himself on provincial level for Bay of Plenty. He's proven
All right,
himself
mate.
as a
all right, mate.
New Zealand Sevens player.
Yeah, all right.
All
mate.
I'm saying is, Razor, open your eyes, mate.
Well, I'm sure his eyes are open, but his eyes, they're not peeled back and held with pins.
Have you got a player? of
Yeah,
the
I
game,
do.
mate?
It's Hoskins Satutu.
Ah, you know
Yeah.
what? I had him for our next award.
Yeah, I think he's. What's your next award? Most improved.
Yeah.
Well, let's just go to it.
Most improved player.
Hoskins
Tutu.
Satutu.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, he was great, mate. As you said earlier, the pass, the try, the meters, he played really, really well, and he stood up, and he definitely dominated.
And what I
In
like
a night
about
where
Hoskins,
Christian Leo Willie was dominant as well, so it was a big game for the 2 8s, you know.
he also does it with just no like bullshit.
Yeah,
Just gets on with it.
yeah,
He lets his work do the talking.
yeah.
He doesn't need to do the fucking big old get in your face.
No,
and
and actually, he
tell you how
doesn't. He
good
doesn't
is.
really get into that kind of stuff. He stays very calm and just focuses. I think he knows he has to put his head down after certain things not going his way.
Well done, Hoskins. Welcome back, mate. We should get into just briefly before we go into what's coming up next round. We've got the Chiefs versus the Force.
We do.
Weirdly played at Blake Park at the Bay Oval, which is a cricket ground.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit nervous about this because it's one of our premium New Zealand cricket grounds.
And they're
Black
going to
Caps have
scuff
had
it
some.
up.
Yeah, just don't scuff it up.
Why are they playing there?
I think they
Surely
should-
isn't there a stadium in Rotorua that they can play in?
There is Rotorua International Stadium. There's also Bay Park Speedway, which the Bad Plenty
you
team
can't
used to
be
play.
playing with
There's the
a-
Tauranga Domain.
Well,
I mean,
what's
there's
going
lots
on?
of places, but they've chosen the Bay Oval. I think it's because it's under lights, maybe.
So it has to be.
but
Right.
also, like, maybe they should be just playing in trainers. I don't want them roughing it up.
Well, we could. Do you know what? Have them playing in trainers, and if it's a slippery night, just seeing what happens.
Maybe barefoot. Maybe we go back into JMC.
And let's let all the All Blacks roll their ankles and not be available for the Test season. That's a great idea.
Shut up, mate. Protect the pitch.
At all costs.
Reds.
At the cost of all players. It's about the pitch, guys.
Well, I mean, we're only playing the Force.
I never knew you loved grass so much, mate.
I love cricket.
Mate, the Force are going to challenge you.
Yeah, well, they challenged you, which probably means they probably won't.
Okay?
Nah.
You heard it here first.
We we respect the Force.
I reckon the Force are going to get you.
Where Reds play the Blues.
The Reds will beat the Blues.
The two colours.
Yeah, the two colours on the what?
Well, Reds
Oh,
and the
a
Blues.
pair of 3D glasses.
They're going to make purple. Imagine if the ref wore purple. That would be quite cool.
Well, it would be lovely. A little purple guana.
Yeah, or for the refs and the touchies. I'll put that challenge out there,
Yeah.
actually. Because the Reds are playing the Blues, maybe the refs
ref
and the
should wear
touchies
purple.
should wear purple.
That'd be nice.
That makes sense.
I think the Reds will get over the Blues at Suncorp for sure.
You think so?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going Blues for that one.
Okay.
I think the Blues are on their way up, and I think Hoskins is going to lead the way.
Okay.
Moana versus the Drua. Now, this is a game which we're looking
Now
forward to.
that will be good.
It is the Drua away from home, which doesn't
Yeah.
bode well for them. It is at North Harbour. I don't know. I'm going with
I'm
Moana
going Moana
Pacifica
as well.
to bounce back. But I think it's
I
going to
agree.
be a very, very interesting game.
It
to
is going to
watch.
be. It'll be a hell of a spectacle, especially if the
what?
weather's fine.
I'm going to name that the game of the round.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what I'm most excited about watching next week.
Yeah.
Okay, next game is the Highlanders
should go.
Crusaders, and that's at Forsyth Bar. I think the Crusaders are going to waste them.
Well, just based on current form, the Highlanders have to play out of their skin, which they do. They just have to play out of their skin, or it's just a loss,
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And you know what? The Crusaders have lost. They've shown some vulnerabilities this season. So maybe if the Highlanders can sort of find a little way in, they can maybe take
but
advantage.
it's a tough ask.
Be cold down there too.
Yeah.
Dunedin's cold already, right?
It's
already winter.
cold, and now it's actually not just going to be cold, but it's going to be bitter.
Yeah.
And that bitterness isn't just the weather; it's just the bitterness of losing.
Let's hope the zoo gets out there.
Mate, I don't think there's as many chicks in yellow, orange jumpsuits as you can put out there. They still aren't going to win.
Thermals underneath. There won't be one sleeve down
Or
this,
nothing
this
at all.
part of time
Lots
of
of
the year.
lovely cold pink skin.
Oh, no way, mate. Too cold. Not enough space.
You haven't clearly spent a lot of time in
put
Dunedin.
that bear jacket on.
These girls are walking around in next to nothing and they're freezing. It's ridiculous.
Brumbies and Hurricanes in Canberra. That's going to be a tough one for you, mate.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm going to say the Hurricanes because I love my boys, but also I know the truth of playing in Canberra and it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough and we need to win it. So
I'm going Brumbies.
yeah, I know you are. My heart says Hurricanes, but my head weirdly says Brumbies. I don't want that.
And what does your Willie say?
My Willie says, tonight's the night.
Thanks for tuning in.
Cheers, everybody.
Yep. It's been nice.
Yep, we love you. It's been long, but it's been nice. Check us out next week.
Hooroo.
Yeah.